It was a chilly Saturday morning at the local farmer's market, where families strolled between stalls, sipping coffee and picking fresh produce. Among the crowd, two little girls, identical twins with messy braids and worn-out shoes, stood nervously on a small wooden crate near the park fountain. Their clothes were a size too big and patched in places, but their eyes sparkled with innocent hope. Clutching a small karaoke mic hooked to a tiny speaker, the girls began to sing. Their voices were soft, unsure at first, but something in their harmony, pure and aching, caught the attention of a few passers-by. They sang an old song their mother used to hum while cooking, their eyes occasionally drifting to an empty jar labeled, "For Mama's Medicine." Laughter broke the moment. A group of teenagers nearby snickered, pointing. "This isn't America's Got Talent," one jeered. "Maybe beg for lessons first." Others joined in, chuckling, tossing candy wrappers instead of coins into the jar. The girls faltered. One of them looked down, tears brimming. The other tried to keep singing, her lips trembling. That's when he stepped in. No one noticed him at first, a tall man in a faded hoodie, holding a grocery bag with a child's lunchbox poking out. His name was Daniel, a single dad, carpenter by trade, and a father who knew too well the pain of being laughed at for simply trying. He gently put his grocery bag down and walked up to the twins. The crowd murmured, expecting him to shoo them away like everyone else. But instead, Daniel kneeled. "Can I sing with you too?" he asked, smiling. The girls blinked at him, confused. One nodded hesitantly. Daniel took the mic and began singing the very song they had started. His voice, deep, warm, unexpectedly beautiful, carried through the square. Within moments, the girls joined back in, harmonizing as if they'd known him forever. Something changed. People who had ignored them earlier began to stop and listen. Mothers held their children close. A few teenagers looked uncomfortable, guilt flashing in their eyes. And then, something incredible happened. A woman from the crowd pulled out her phone and started recording. A man dropped a $20 bill into the jar. Another woman followed, and then another. The jar began to fill. Some clapped, some cried. When the song ended, there was silence. Then thunderous applause. The girls smiled, brighter than they had all morning. Daniel hugged them both gently and whispered, "Don't ever stop singing, no matter who laughs. The world needs your voice." One of the twins looked up at him and whispered, "You sound like our dad." He froze. Tears welled up in his eyes, and he swallowed hard. "He must have been a good man," he said softly. "Our mom says he was kind, but he passed away last year," the other girl added. The crowd went quiet again. Daniel reached into his pocket, pulled out a folded business card, and handed it to the older woman who'd been watching over them from a bench. "If you ever need help, school supplies, groceries, even rides to singing lessons, I'll be around." He picked up his grocery bag and turned to leave, his little son running toward him with open arms. "Daddy, you were singing," the boy shouted, beaming. Daniel laughed and swung him into his arms. "Yeah, buddy, and you know what? Sometimes, when you see someone trying, you don't walk away. You stand beside them." By the next morning, the video had gone viral. The twin girls were invited to a local talent show. Donations poured in, and the name Daniel, the singing dad, trended on social media for days. But he never posted about it, never asked for recognition. He just smiled every time his son replayed the video and said, "Daddy, you helped those girls." And Daniel would nod, tuck his son into bed, and whisper, "That's what people do when they remember what kindness is." Because sometimes, the smallest act of compassion becomes the loudest song in someone's life. And that day, a single dad's choice to sing with two poor twin girls didn't just fill a jar. It filled hearts. So remember this: if you ever see someone mocked for being brave enough to try, don't laugh.